Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Patrick from Vicious Computers, and today I'm coming at you with a new video. So this is a follow-up to the build guide video. You asked and I listened, and I'm coming at you with one of the major requests that I saw repeated a few times, which is, hey, it's great to know how to build this thing, but what does it do? Demo footage, right? That's what you really need to see. Just so you know, there are actually demo videos already on the channel that came out before the build guide, so I urge you to go look for them if you want to check those out. But today I'm coming at you with some new footage that is demoing this hub in a more detailed fashion to answer a couple very specific questions that are actually really important. The question here is, when we have direct access to the battery through this hack, what kind of protections do we have? Because if you didn't know, draining an LFP battery like below where it should be 0% if the voltage gets too low, it can be very, very bad for the battery, up to and including where you can't even get the battery to work anymore. So we don't want that to happen. How safe is this? That's what we're testing. The opposite test would be if we were charging the battery, what happens? Because I don't think anyone has actually seen it yet, but yes, you can put power into the power station with the hack just the same way you can take power out of it. Plan here was after I got home from work, I was going to set up a test on day one to discharge this unit. And then on the second day after work, I was going to do a test to recharge the unit. And I did put those tests and set them up. And you know how it is, best laid plans don't work out sometimes. The test worked out perfectly. But because I was in a hurry to just get these set up for you and get recording, I only did quick cell phone videos and then a time lapse with a tripod. And I didn't realize I had the EcoFlow alternator charger in the background that still had the address label pointing right at the camera. So it made all of my footage pretty much useless, except for the time lapse where I can blur it out because it's a static image. So I just grabbed a few snapshots out of the videos just to walk you through the setup and talk about it. And then we'll follow that with the time lapse so you can actually see it in action. And then I think that will actually work pretty well for this video. So even though it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, improvise, adapt, and overcome. So this is the first test. This is the first setup. The power station just happened to be at about 84%. And that's where it already was. There was no reason to charge it or discharge it. We just started setting up our test. We have the hub hooked up to the battery in the back. I have a multimeter clamped onto it so we can see our voltage readings. And then the output side of the hub is directly connected to a Victron inverter. And that's where we're going to have our load. This is what it looks like with the multimeter just clamped right onto the leads. And this is where we're getting our voltage reading from. And this is a more zoomed back look at everything. So you can see I have a studio light plugged into the Victron inverter that's acting as our load. And the other thing I like about this setup is we have multiple visual cues. So the lamp on top of the power station is plugged into the inverter output of the Delta. So we know that we have power coming from the inverter and that the Delta is turned on. The studio light is plugged into the Victron inverter, which is running off of the battery hack. So we'll know if battery access does not close, meaning that once the inverter turns off on the Delta, the lamp on top of it would turn off, but the studio light would stay on. So we have a visual indicator for that. And of course, we have the multimeter to let us know what's going on with our voltages. As the test was running, I got to see that the display on the Delta was actually dropping down in percentage. This is one of the questions that somebody was asking, is will the BMS actually give you accurate readings? So yes, you don't get to see the input and output power. Those figures will only show up for the built-in power in and out on the unit, but it does understand your percentage of charge based on voltage. So you can see that the left side of the screen shows where we have the studio light plugged in. The right side shows our current voltage reading. And we do see the 9 watts, which is just simply the lamp that's plugged in. And we're running the USB output to the multimeter just to make sure that the battery doesn't die during the test. This is what it's going to look like at the end of the test. What I saw, it was funny enough, I just got done playing mini golf with my wife. And as I took off my headset and looked into the dining room, I saw all the lights turn off. The lamp on top of the power station turned off, and the studio lamp turned off at the exact same moment. And as I walked into the room, I saw that the voltage had dropped down to basically nothing. The voltage reading here is actually just the residual voltage from the buck converter, the 12 volt output. If we didn't have that as a part of the hub, it would be basically reading 0 volts. So with the explanation of the first test out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our time-lapse footage and you can see how this actually proceeded. So day 2 of testing, this is just left to sit from the first day. I didn't do anything with anything, except I built a new cable. So this is one of the really cool things about the modular design of the hub. Today, instead of using a Victron inverter to drain the battery as a load, I'm using my Ames Power battery charger to see if we can charge the Delta. My battery charger actually terminates into MC4 connectors. The reason I did that is it lets me plug in my battery charger directly into my solar inputs on any of my systems, and I can charge my batteries like that. So I made a Anderson to MC4 cable. It just took a few minutes, and that is all I had to do to adapt the hub for this. This is what charger we're using. This is an Ames Power charger that I got on eBay. It is an intelligent battery charger made to charge 48 volt LFP batteries. One of the first questions I had here that I was concerned about is, how am I going to charge a dead power station? Because if it's at 0%, we drained it all the way the day before, am I going to have to plug in the Delta to the wall and let it charge its own battery to at least like 1 or 2% before I can get access to the battery? So this is what it looked like before I had done anything else. Just turning it on, it's at 0%, and it would turn off in about 4 or 5 seconds. And this is the good news. When I turned on the battery charger, because it's an intelligent charger, it didn't detect that it was connected to a battery. It wasn't doing anything. But the moment that I turned on the Delta power station, I heard the relays click and the battery charger started running. We started seeing voltage slowly climb up and saw the power station start to charge. One of the things I also wanted to check was how much power is going into the battery. If you're not familiar with charge and discharge rates, they're rated in air quotes C. So a 1C charge rate is my highest limit. I don't want to go above 1C, which for this type of battery at this voltage is about 20 amps. Also, MC4 connectors, these ones are rated for 15 amps, so we don't really want to go above that either. So I just wanted to check real quick and see how much power was going into the battery, and we were between like 15 and 16 amps, so that was looking good to go, and we proceeded with the test. And this is what it looked like after I just got everything set up and before I started the time lapse. I saw it jump up to 2%, and I saw that the voltage was still climbing. And this is the end of the test. The power station did charge all the way to 100%. I knew it was done because I could actually hear the fans on the battery charger stop running, because when the battery charger is running at full tilt, it actually makes a pretty loud fan noise. So I walked into the room, I saw the power station was at 100%. I saw the voltage was at 57 volts. And I was remeasuring the current at this point, and I saw that we were down to 0.1 amps, almost 0.2 amps. So this would be the point where the battery is just getting topped off. So recharging the unit through outside power source worked perfectly, exactly the same as you would want to charge a regular battery. And so this test was a full success, and this answers 2 very important questions for us. What kind of protection do we have on the battery? And it looks like all of the protections you would expect are still here and working. We cannot overly discharge the battery. The BMS will shut off and protect it, and we're able to get power into the battery without any issues either. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into our time lapse so you can see how this recharge test went. And other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the video.